afternoon. Come on. I have to hear some energy here. Good afternoon. So I'm going to be up here on the podium. Usually I'm on the floor and I like to walk around because I think it's important that I engage each and every single one of you. So if it's okay, can I sit up here? Okay, because they're filming, so they say you gotta stay where you can see the camera and we can get you on film, okay? But I want to say thank you for allowing me to come speak to you today. I want to say thank you to the Washtenaw Economic Club, the Washtenaw Community College, the students, the faculty, the guests, the business community, all of you for allowing me to come speak to you about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and it's microlending. And I put this presentation together and it's a variation of another presentation I do that I talk about how microlending impact our urban and rural community. And I want to be able to show you guys some real life examples of using this tool to find capital for small business owners to turn our low income neighborhoods around. So you sit back, I'm going to treat you all like you're aspiring entrepreneurs, and I'm going to teach you what microloans are. How about that? Okay? Let's get started. Okay, we have. So this is kind of the agenda that I'm going to follow. I'm going to talk about what are microloans and community loans. Okay, how to identify the right lender. Okay, I talk about how to identify the right lender because business owners, they figure if they can get approved for money, that woo, they're into the cash. But guess what? There's a smart way to pursue funding. I'm going to talk about that because I think that's critical when you're a business owner, that you have the right lender provide you the funding that fits into the type of business you have. So we'll talk about that, okay? We'll talk about the top Michigan micro lenders. I got some statistics about Washtenaw County that I'm going to talk about just to show you that if a certain percentage of the money that comes in through tourism goes to small business owners who are low to moderate income, the huge impact that it will have. Then we'll talk about lifting residents out of poverty, supporting entrepreneurs, wraparound services, and wraparound services are not just loan products, but what other services can be provided to small business owners to support them to be successful. And then finally, we'll talk about, if we have time, I have a business case study. I've worked with literally 500 businesses over the last 10 years. So I have some real life examples that I'm going to bring before you about how this form of lending really can bring back your low income neighborhoods. Okay, so this is a condensed version of my background. For those bankers that are in here, yes, I am a former banker, okay? Someone said, well, you're talking about microlending, will the banks be offended? No, banks are our biggest funders. So there is this partnership between banking. There are those potential banking customers who might come into one of your branch offices to apply for funding, but they might not qualify based on your underwriting criteria. Well, they might qualify for a microloan. So we actually work in partnership. I use a lot of the banking experience that I've had over the years to really help me out and helping out business owners. Because guess what? They might need a loan, but they also might need succession planning. They might need a checking account, IRA, because they're not going to have a 401k, so they might need an IRA. So I need my bankers. Is that okay, bankers? Okay, I'm just letting you know. So I have my background is in banking. I used to work for an organization called E-Trade. Anyone ever heard of E-Trade? Okay, I actually ran E-Trade I ran the community development department for E-Trade nationwide out of Arlington, Virginia. Before that, I joke about this all the time. Every bank I would go to, as soon as I leave, they get bought out. I said, I have a track record of banks getting bought out. But I started working for an MBD bank. You guys remember that? Years ago. I started on the retail side, and that's when I graduated from Central Michigan. My very first job was at MBD Bank, and I worked in the branches. So I started on the ground level, and I'm gonna go one step further. I was in the management training program. And for those of you who know about the management training program, what's the very first thing you do when you start working in that program? A teller, exactly. So literally, I started as a teller and worked my way up. I left the retail banking side. I went to the investment side. I sold mutual funds, annuities. I decided before I got married and found a wife that I would go to law school and get that out of the way. And I want to recognize my wife who's here today to support me. Trust me, will you please stand? This is my wife, Trusty Gallo. So after finishing law school, I decided not to practice, but I tried to use my law degree as like an analytical form of an MBA. And what ended up happening, I just couldn't get banking out of my system. So guess who came calling? Standard Federal Bank, okay? MBD Bank is now what? Chase Bank, right? Okay, I go to Standard Federal Bank. I work on the compliance regulatory CRA department. I worked there for about 5 years, got a bigger calling, and as soon as I left, guess what? They got bought up by whom? Bank of America, okay? Charter One Bank hired me to run their community development and community lending departments for all of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. I stayed there for a couple years and got an even bigger calling. But guess what? As I was walking out the door, guess who bought them out? Citizens Bank, okay? Every time I leave. So I'm waiting for E-Trade to get bought out. So that's how I ended up at E-Trade in Arlington, Virginia, running the community development department. I got this higher calling to run community development. But guess what? Like a lot of us, we probably love working in corporate America, but there's nothing like controlling your own income, right? So I decided to go become an entrepreneur. With my wife's blessings, I decided to leave corporate America and come back home. So back when I left back in 2004, there were a lot of people leaving the metropolitan Detroit area and going